and welcome back. This past week, I put out a poll, because I can now, thanks to you guys, asking what you would want to see as one of my next projects. There were a few of you that said I should clean my closet. One of those was my husband. Message received. About 40% of you said you wanted to see a Pinafore. If you don't know what a Pinafore is, this is kind of an idea. I've had my eye on this one for a long time to try to replicate it in some way, shape, or form. I even have a maybe like burnt orange cotton poly blend bedsheet that I'm gonna use for it that I think matches the color pretty well. So we're gonna try Pinafore this week. They look fairly simple. It's generally a circle skirt attached to a simple bodice with straps that kind of looks like a fancier apron. But you can wear nice shirts under it and things like that. Anyway, not only am I going to try and make a Pinafore, I'm going to challenge myself just a little bit more, and I'm going to try and get this done before we go out for lunch. This weekend is our anniversary weekend. It has been 12 wonderful years, and we like to do anniversary lunch instead of dinner because that is a lot less people-y. So it is now right around 8 o'clock in the morning, and we are leaving at 11:30 so that we can make a 12:15 lunch. So I have 3.5 hours to try to get this done. I have no idea how this is gonna turn out. So let's give it a shot, see what happens. I'm gonna go now. Okay.
In my mind, the skirt is the easy part. So I decided to do that first, and I always go to Mood to figure out how to cut this, how to cut this thing out. So I just take some measurements of my waist and how long I want it to be, type all that into the Mood circle skirt calculator, and it gives me all of the measurements that I use to line this out. You'll see that I pin my tape measure to the corner of my fabric. Look at that orb. And that just makes sure that it stays stable when I'm doing all my measurements. I do the same thing for the length as well, and I will connect all of these hash marks into a semicircle, and I will cut the whole thing out. And with the whole thing cut out, you're going to end up with a donut of fabric, which is kind of cool to think that you're wearing a donut of fabric. Nice.
I did a quick fit check on the skirt just to make sure it was going to fit my waist.
Next, I'm just trying to figure out my measurements for this bodice. If I'm being honest, I am not good at measuring, I am not good at math, and why I thought self-drafting this was a good idea is beyond me.
I transferred my measurements over to the fabric and basically cut out 2 rectangles that I would use for the bodice, having no idea how I was going to put these together once I got them cut out. I held this up thinking it would tell me something, and it told me nothing. So I decided to press stuff. I'm not even sure what I ironed. And then I sewed some things together. I think this is the back of the skirt. I think I cut the skirt up the back so that I could wrap it around or pleat it or something. That seems right. But I do know if you're doing circle skirts, the best way to hem it is to do a 1/4 inch seam all the way around the bottom. That way you can easily fold it up and press it down. A quick clean of my workspace, and I was ready to start working on straps. I highly recommend the cut toward your hand technique when using a rotary blade, just to spice things up a little bit. I also cut out the waistband and added a gathering stitch to the top of the skirt so I could make it fit. And if you think that gathering is boring, it's more boring than that. Seriously, this is only about 10 seconds of boring gathers. And it probably took 30 minutes to get this right.
It's bad. But at least it looks good once it's in a skirt. And I could have stopped right here and been perfectly happy with this as a skirt. But no, I had to go try and put a stupid bodice on it. Somehow I came up with the genius idea to pin this to my shirt to try it on, which I thought was really smart. And if I had seen those 2 darts, this would have been great. But no, I overthought it. And thinking I was on the right track, I even went ahead and added the straps to this. Once I had them sewed on, I gracefully brought them over to my sewing table and attached them to the skirt. Here I am, making up my own darts, rather than actually looking in the mirror and laying them out that way. I am so talented. I finally had something to try on, and some people look really good with this dropped waist kind of fashion. I do not, and this is when I realize how much I hate it. It was bad, and I was angry. So I think I gave up.
Good morning, and welcome to day 2. Yesterday was infinitely frustrating. Am I wearing the same shirt as yesterday? Yeah. Do I care? No, 0%. The skirt went together really fast, like I thought it would. Circle skirts are pretty easy, and even if I have to leave it unhemmed at the bottom, they still look good. So that went really well, but the bodice, I just can't figure out the bodice part of it. And that's what today is going to be about. As I'm sure you figured out, I did not get it done in time to wear for our anniversary lunch. So I had to wear some other things, which was fine. Disappointing, but fine. We're going to just try again today, because at this point, I have to get it done. I will not be beaten by a bodice. I brought home my dress form that is way smaller than me, so I'm gonna have to pad that out a little bit and use that to try to get the bodice right. So that's my goal for today, is just to get this stupid thing done as much as possible. I am gonna use a pattern. I was kind of hoping to avoid doing that, but have to use a pattern. That's where we're at. Yesterday was just so bad. We got home from lunch and I changed and took a nap, and then I went to go look at it again and it was just so frustrating. I'm gonna try this again because I will not be broken by a bodice. Let's go see if we can figure this out. Alright, so I have to run out and get a zipper, because the zipper that I had is like 7 inches and it's just not long enough. So I am running to Michael's to grab a zipper, maybe 2. And for some reason, this is just a frustrating project. Hopefully the end product will make it worthwhile. Yeah. I have my 2 zippers. Got a 14 and a 22. Because I have no idea which one's going to be the best one for this project. Because the dress is orange, of course they're not going to carry orange zippers. So I tried to pick colors that maybe would disappear a little bit better, and I felt like white and cream and black would just be a little too contrasty. So I got a navy and, I don't know, a royal, I guess. I will get this done today. I will. Famous last words, I think. I'm gonna go get some food because I'm hungry. I don't feel like I need to reward myself for doing this.
With food in my belly and a fresh sense of resignation to just make this good enough, I patted out my dress form, checked the measurements, and gave her a little book. I'm using the bodice part of the elderberry dress pattern from Mood. It's a sweetheart neckline, and I don't really care for that, but whatever. I just need to get this stupid thing done. And then I did decide to do a mock-up, which you can clearly see because I'm not standing in front of the camera at all. Good job, Katie. I sewed it all together, and it went together really fast, and I pinned it on my dress form. Her tiny little waist does not match mine. So, I don't know how that'll work. And here's me testing out darts that I will never put in. Looks good. Despite what I should have done, I made absolutely no alterations to my mock-up and decided to sew the damn thing together because I am professional. And look at how good it looks. Like I said, professional. I literally threw this thing on my mannequin and said, good enough. This meant I now had to free the skirt from the nightmare that was the first bodice. And when I tell you that this process was long and irritating, I am not exaggerating. But with the two pieces placed next to each other, I actually kind of started to get excited at this point. Here I am taking completely arbitrary measurements and standing in front of the camera, trying to even up the hem. I am a camera person. I was trying to figure out where to put the straps so that they would cover bra straps because I need to wear this with a bra. Whatever. Crisscross doesn't do it. And honestly, it didn't matter at this point. I just wanted to get it done. But when I finally sewed this thing together, it actually looked pretty good. I mean, if you stand far away and maybe squint a little bit, it looks fine. It's good. So now, from a completely secret location, let's see the reveal. This is what it is. I can't say that it's done because there are a lot of things that still need to be done to it, but it's wearable as long as you don't look for the imperfections. You know, sometimes you just kind of have to turn an assignment in, even if it's halfway finished. I think I'm gonna really like the end product when I get all the details done. Right now, it's a solid 7 out of 10. I need to finish up the hem. The straps are still pinned in and they haven't even been sewn in yet. And the bodice part is still loose up here. I probably need to do a little bit more research on how to do bodices correctly because it's okay here, but when it gets to the girls, it's not quite right. Not yet, at least. This has been a whirlwind of a project. I was really hoping to get it done in about 3 hours, and that was grossly underestimating how much time this took. And a lot of that is because I like to hand sew stuff like hems and other things. So it's fine, but I did it. And this is the better bodice that I've done. I'm also not a huge fan of the sweetheart part of it. I just feel like it's not as universally wearable, I guess. Like it makes it too fancy. I still like it, but I'm not sure if I love it. Like I said, I'm gonna finish up the hem. The little belt here, I'm going to figure out how to get that permanently attached because it is hiding all kinds of sins with this waistline. Get the straps done and call it final. I hope you've enjoyed this because when I talk about my sewing journey, this is what I'm talking about. That every project teaches me something new, and
if I do this again, when I do this again, it'll be better. I think that's all I've got. I think that's all I have. Sorry, it's hot in here, but it's also cold and my hair's in my way. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Give this a like or a dislike, I don't know. And, you know, maybe subscribe if you haven't already, because I'll do plenty of stuff like this where it is a journey. And I will see you guys next time. Bye. Scott's Tots is on the TV, and if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. And the secondhand embarrassment that I feel even when it's on mute is a lot. Ugh. Oh, when they just sang the song. Ugh. Anyway. All right. Anyway, bye.